Donald Trump, Republican presidential candidate, our good buddy, went on MSNBC's Morning Joe. He would not stop talking about this completely absurd Muslim travel ban that he's been suggesting, proposing, whatever. And the segment ended up getting pretty abruptly interrupted and stopped, and they went to commercial. Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough were talking to Trump about how this is a completely absurd idea and how it just makes no sense and it's all crazy. And Trump started one of his soliloquies, one of his monologues, his never-ending speeches that go on and on and on. And Joe Scarborough said to Trump, "You got to stop talking. We ask questions here or we're going to break." Trump did not stop, and ultimately they did go to break. Let's take a look at the video.
Chamber of Commerce is going to go crazy, but Paris is no longer the same city it was. They have sections in Paris that are radicalized where the police refuse to go there. They're petrified. The police refuse to go in there. We have places in London and other places that are so radicalized that the police are afraid for their own lives. We have to be very smart and very vigilant. We have to find out who gave this guy $28,000, put it in his account. How many other $28,000 checks were made? Are there thousands all over the country? When you say you're afraid, I think you should be afraid. You should be afraid of the other side, not my side. Well, I want to get our hands around a very difficult situation.
All right, Donald.
Hey, Joe, one other thing.
Don, you got to let us ask questions. You can't just talk. No, you got to let us actually ask questions. You're just talking. All Muslims. Donald, you're not going to keep talking. We will go to break if you keep talking. We're going to ask you questions.
All right,
go to break. Go to break, everybody. Go to break. Go to break. Go to break right now. We'll be.
Oh boy, the awkwardness. I don't know, to add just even more awkwardness. I don't know if you noticed, but if you were watching that, during a bunch of Trump's soliloquy, there was an ad for a stool softener playing in the background of the MSNBC shot. I mean, just every element about that bizarre, Lewis.
Yeah, it's a little strange. I think Joe was getting clearly very angry, and you can't do that. You know, you have to kind of keep a cooler head, and it makes for some compelling commentary. But Dave, I mean, you got to chill a bit here, right? What do you expect when Donald Trump is on with you?
You do have to, but can nobody see Trump's ideas for what they are? Trump is more or less the only candidate to have widespread support from the white supremacist community, including even former KKK leader David Duke. We're going to talk to Chauncey DeVega about this a little bit later. The white supremacists and KKK types are only talking about Donald Trump. You don't hear the KKK types talking about Bernie or about Lindsey Graham or Jeb Bush or whoever. Replace the word Muslim with Jew or black in this and tell me what it sounds like. And we have a real problem with Muslim extremism already, and it has nothing to do with Donald Trump. I mean, that's undeniable. But this type of rhetoric and speeches and ideas will only create more extremism. And earlier in this interview with Trump, Mika Brzezinski said, "Aren't you giving ISIS what they want?" And absolutely, when you say, hey, look at what they're doing in the U.S., they've got a Republican candidate who says ban Muslim travel. That helps them recruit. We have to understand that.
Yes, that is what they want. They want people to be afraid. Donald Trump is making people afraid. I'm not convinced that Donald Trump is aware of the consequences of what he's doing.
Maybe
I think
not.
he's still in entertainer mode, and he's realizing now that he can just keep saying crazier and crazier things and garnering more and more support.
And he does say them in a way that slightly softens them. I mean, if you're a high information voter or even a medium information voter, you see through the absurdity of what it is Donald Trump is saying. But if you're a low information voter and you hear him use some of the phrases of, hey, we're going to have a country and we're going to have borders and we'll have a wall, but it'll have a beautiful door in it. When you don't realize the wall idea for its full absurdity and what it represents, Trump is good at talking in a way that does sound inoffensive to low information voters.
I guess I find that hard to believe because when I hear it, I hear what it is, and I think to myself, how can anyone think that this is rational? Well, I don't know, Dave. I mean, I guess we'll be hearing from them.
Apparently, 29% of all Republicans think what Trump is saying is quite rational because he still has 29% support from in the broader Republican primary polls.